Thought I could find my way back home, but I get lost alone. But when I'm with you, I'm no longer wandering. And when I'm with you, I swear I can breathe. And when I'm with you, I know who I am and who I wanna be. I'm not trying to be dramatic, no. Most times I'm pretty normal. Oh, but let's be clear and honest here and do away with anything formal. I can fake it on my own, but I am lost alone. And when I'm with you, I'm no longer wandering. And when I'm with you, I swear I can breathe. And when I'm with you, I know who I am and who I wanna be. Who I wanna be. Well, I am wide-eyed with a penchant for running. But how many times does it take till I find that I'm lost when I'm alone? And that's not where I belong. 'Cause when I'm with you, I'm no longer wandering. When I'm with you, I can find.
I really don't like public speaking, so I apologize in advance. I am the maid of honor, and I've known Meryl since the womb, we like to say. Our moms were friends in middle school, and so Meryl and I grew up together, and always said that we were friends from the womb. So, I have a lot of memories of Meryl. And pretty much every big moment in my life, Meryl has been a part of. I have certain places and certain things that remind me of different moments with Meryl. And then in the last 10 years or so, Andy has been a part of that, which has been really fun. So the biggest time in our friendship, I would say, is when Meryl lived in Columbia. So she got accepted to Mizzou PC school. So she got to live with me while she was in PT school, which was in Sophia, right here, which was really wonderful. And I got to experience Meryl and Andy as adults and, see their relationship as adults, and it was just really enjoyable. So one of the biggest memories I had is when we were in Colorado this summer, and it was right before they got engaged. And Andy, that meant so much to me that I was part of that weekend. Sorry. So it speaks to the sisterhood that Meryl and I have. And it has just been so fun to get to be a part of your engagement and to get to live with Meryl again the last 8 weeks. And over our friendship, I've just gotten to see this insane diligence and loyalty and persistence. And there's a Bible verse that reminds me of Meryl, and then now it reminds me of Andy. And it's my prayer for their relationship and for their marriage. And it's Psalm 16, 5 and 6. And it says, "The Lord is my chosen portion and my cup. You hold my lot. The lines have fallen for me in pleasant places. Surely I have a beautiful inheritance." And so that is my prayer for you guys, that you would just seek the Lord first, and that you would see the inheritance you have, and that would motivate all of your decisions. And I just love you guys so much. And this whole thing has been so fun. And I just pray that you guys will seek God first, and that your relationship will just fall in line. And I can't wait to have more big moments with you guys. So my closing story will be, for anyone that knows Meryl, knows that she loves Twilight. Oh, yeah! So Bella and Edward have this romance in Twilight, and Bella's like 14. You know, I think it's a little silly. So Meryl and I went to see this movie in like 2008, and we left the movie theater, and I'm just like ranting about how impractical this is, and how like that's not reality, and nobody really feels that way when they're that young. And Meryl turns to me with a totally straight face and says, "Well, that's how I feel about Andy." And she was dead serious. And I think that she really feels that way. So it's great. So, that's all I have. I love you guys.
Good evening. Doctor. Well, I am the best man, and first of all, I just want to raise a glass, and a great big thank you to all the Harmons. And this is a fantastic venue and a great, beautiful wedding, and I really appreciate your generosity. But it's incredible. Thank you very much. Now, as for Andy, Andy is like a brother to me. I've known him for 28 years, and I've really been impressed into the man that he's become in that time. I like to think that I had a little bit, in the way of helping him along that way. We have photographic proof, for example, of me teaching him how to crawl. And let me tell you that dragging your brother across the carpet in a headlock is actually pretty good training for crawling. So I think, got him off to a good start at least. It's been the biggest, really, honor for me that I got to be his best man in his wedding. I think that one of the great parts about growing up with Andy as my brother is that he was also, my go-to, do anything, kind of spur-of-the-moment friend. We grew up in a neighborhood that was mostly girls around us, and it turns out they don't have the same appreciation for Nerf guns and Ninja Turtles and these kind of things. And I think Andy appreciated that kind of association too. He knew that I would never send him back home, for example, with his nails painted and glittery, like my next door neighbors. But let's see. Oh yeah, I was just thinking about all sorts of great things that we did growing up, and what facilitated all that was that we were in a town that was pretty loosely patrolled by the sheriffs. So four-wheelers went everywhere. We hunted whatever we wanted basically in the backyard, and four-wheelers were a big part too. We at some point we figured out that four-wheelers do pretty well by pulling skis on wet grass. And actually, an old Ford truck will do pretty well at pulling skier also in the wet grass. But, you think about, snow didn't slow us down, snow didn't slow us down any. And any time we had a big snow, the next morning, there was, no misperception at all about where all these tracks were coming from. All tracks lead to the Shortens, pretty much. And frequently Hedbergs and Bears as well. I find them in the mix. Let's see. So yeah, all these different activities. Loved it growing up, and I'd say that Andy was always the kind of better athlete. And he had all these, ridiculously number of BMX trophies and basketball trophies and all these things. But I always had a little bit of an edge on it because I was a little bit bigger. But that started to change about high school, I'd say, and some of those wrestling matches in the living room started to get a little bit more fairly matched. And it looked like that trend wasn't going to slow down. So that's about the time that I decided I better get out of town and go to college. And I'm going into the 25th grade now, and I think I've trained enough that I'm ready for a rematch. But of course, Andy went on and had great successes in high school and socially and athletically, and I think the greatest of those successes was getting Meryl to date him. And of course, they went off to college, and I think that's where Andy really developed into a man of his own person, and to Meryl's great relief, that turned out to be a person who's a very genuine and loyal friend, somebody who works hard and plays hard, and just, is an outstanding individual that everybody would want to be around. And that was evidenced by the party we had here lately. I got to meet dozens of his friends. He gave me the list for his bachelor party. There's no way all these people are going to come. They did, from different states away. Flown in, people flocked to Andy's party. And that's just the kind of the guy that he is. You want to be around him. Makes you feel good. And with all that kind of childhood as a preface, and then that, it makes perfect sense why Andy and Meryl are perfect for each other. Because there's few people that could, live with that sort of lifestyle and those kind of activities going on. And I think that, we of course didn't have a sister, but if we had, that sister would certainly be, just like Meryl. She wouldn't have been able to survive otherwise. But so several months ago, Andy told me that he was going to go out to Colorado and he was going to bring back Meryl as his fiancée. And I was just incredibly excited because just through the years, I learned, just like everyone else has who's been around us, that they're perfectly right for each other. And by the way, that was brilliant to propose to her out in the middle of the wilderness so that you had to get her back home. I'm just really excited, that Meryl's going to be a part of the family now. Call her as a sister, and I'm really impressed with, again, like how as Andy has developed into the man he is, and I would just say that, for a while now, physically, I've had to look up to Andy. I've just admired him in the last several years, especially, and now, in every sense of the word, I look up to my little brother. Special raise your glass, please, to Andy and Meryl. May your relationship be filled with many years of happiness and adventures, and may God bless all of you.
Safety net of my paper here. Meryl is one of my dearest friends. We met in college, and specifically we were sorority sisters, so we spent semester after semester in very small living quarters and learned about everything there was to know about each other during that time. So, unfortunately, I wasn't around when Andy and Meryl first met and got to know each other, but I was fortunate enough to watch their relationship grow and develop in college and in their early adult lives. And so I feel like I can say with almost as much certainty as anyone that they're a very ideal fit for one another. I've known for a long time that there would be certain requirements Meryl's husband needed to meet, and I'm going to share just a few of those with you. As probably most of you are aware, Meryl is, in almost all instances, unequaled in her generosity. This is the very beginning. She gives her time and her talent and her love to everyone around her, whether through her photography and her design, or just helping a roommate and taking time out of an already very busy schedule. And she very much deserves a person. She's just the same. Believe it or not, I really don't, me and Meryl tease each other a lot. I really don't say a lot of nice things to her. Anyway, she deserves someone who's equally generous, and Andy is definitely that guy. Not many husbands stay in their church pews for their own weddings, put dimmer switches on the tent lights when the bride thinks they're too bright, and carries bags of luggage and bridal shower decorations to the matron of honor's car in the pouring rain without any complaint. So that's the first thing Meryl's husband needs is a generous and helpful heart, and Andy has that in abundance.
Amen.
Meryl taught me many things in life, among them how to do my hair, how to apply my faith to basically all everyday situations, to be selfless, to share. She's had a very major influence on my fashion taste. I wouldn't be nearly as familiar with my good friends J. Crew and Kate Spade without her. And lastly, Meryl has taught me to be very particular about mostly everything. Yes, I have always been like that, but our friendship has only made the problem worse. Both of us really like things to be a certain way. The way we envision it is the way it's going to be, and pretty over-functional is fairly common ground for us. I think Mrs. Harmon has experienced this trait quite regularly with the planning of this beautiful wedding. But
And Susan, where is Susan? I hate to say this, but where is she?
We're giving a speech.
yes.
Okay. That's all I'm going to say.
But as all of you can now attest, sometimes a very specific vision does pay off. So, the second quality that Meryl's husband needs is just a little bit of patience. Sandy, thank you for being patient, waiting on Meryl to get ready, because it really is the final touches that count.
Yes.
Listening with optimism to her many suggestions and opinions over the house remodel, because a gold roof on the shed truly is better than a silver one. And through all of her wedding planning. Whether Andy understands Meryl's visions or just knows how important all of these things are to her, I don't know. But he always listens and encourages Meryl and her creativity, which, in my opinion, is one of her most precious gifts.
Oh, God.
I remember after I got married, Meryl called me and told me how she enjoyed our wedding so much because it seemed like every single person there was a special and important part of the big day. And throughout the last few months, I keep thinking about this comment and realizing that's really what it's all about. Not only am I so honored to be a member of the wedding party, but it's also been so much fun for me because I've been able to meet and spend time with the important people in Meryl and Andy's lives. Mary, Kate, and I discovered we are pretty much a dynamic duo in event planning. Mrs. Harmon and I spent some really fun hours talking and imagining and planning, and I got to know members of both sides of both families and now treasure all of you and have an even better understanding of why Meryl and Andy are two people who are just about as good as it gets, because they're surrounded by and supported by a truly wonderful group of family and friends. And finally, to my sweet friend Meryl. We have always had one of those friendships that seems perfectly effortless. I don't remember a day where we weren't comfortable around each other, where I hesitated to say something to you or request something of you for fear of judgment or criticism, because that doesn't exist between us. May we always keep our husbands waiting while we finish curling our hair. May we always spend too many hours watching movies over again when we've already seen them so many times we know the words. And may we always support one another in all endeavors of our lives, most importantly in our marriages. I'm so happy for both of you and excited to see what the future brings. So if you'll all raise your glasses one last time. Here's to Andy and Meryl and a lifetime with joy.
Our senior year, I do believe. I think I might have something to do with that, actually.
Yes, you did.
So, Ed knows what I'm talking about. So, truth be told, I've known Andy way longer than high school. I've known Andy since middle school, actually, 6th grade. When Andy was about this tall, and he wore nothing but N1 shirts and basketball shorts. So I've known him for quite some time now. And We've grown up over the years, bowling, going to the dunes and Chadwick and fishing, having all kinds of fishing tournaments, going to Canada and playing basketball and doing all sorts of things. And a few bad memories in there, but I think for the most part, some of the greatest memories I've ever had was with Andy. And
Talk louder.
can you guys hear me?
Talk louder.
Just talk loud.
Okay, so I guess all right. This is good. This is real good. Killing my mojo here, but anyway, so all kinds of memories with Andy. Enter high school, enter high school, same stuff, fishing. Meryl comes along. I can't say enough about Meryl. Lovely girl. I thought she'd have been the perfect fit for Andy in high school. I told my friends, I was like, I got the perfect guy for her. Best friends with him. He goes to Blue Valley High School, and I knew it since then, and couldn't be more proud today. Here we are today, 10 years later. You guys are married. I was wondering how long it was going to take you guys. I'm sitting here like, almost turning 30 here. It's like, come on. And also, I wanted to say to Debbie, you've been like my stepmother over the years. And I've always called her my stepmom, and you've been there for me over the years. I've eaten more food out of your house than anybody I know. So, and going on the trips with you guys and being there through everything, it's been amazing. So, and I love you for that. Thank you. To the Harmons, to Chuck and Vicky, your daughter means the world to me, and I know she means the world to Andy. And just wanted to say that I know I'm going down. I know, but you guys have been welcoming to me too. I think 2 Christmases ago, you guys invited me in your home, and I spent Christmas with you guys, had dinner, and I thought it was just wonderful. And I've got to know some of the Harmons, and you guys are ever so welcoming, and love spending time with you guys, and party a couple of years back, and everything. So I just wanted to say thank you, and hope everyone has a wonderful time tonight. And
When I'm with you, I can find